listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Thank you for listening to Community Forum. My name's Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner of KCCC 930 AM and the host of Community Forum. With me today, a returning guest. Always lovely to have you on the air. Thank you very much. It's Jeannie Watson.
Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure.
I'm glad that you're here. You've got a brand new title we're going to talk about here in a second, but for the first time ever, and I'm very happy that you're here as well, we have Veronica Hernandez. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we've got two brand new titles in the room today, which is one of the main reasons that you guys came on, so I always appreciate that. We're going to get into the Green Chili Cheeseburger Contest, the age-friendly committee, all that good stuff. But we're going to start with El Presidente, right? Jeannie Watson, you are now the president of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce.
I am, and very happy to be so.
And how did you get into that position?
Oh, my goodness. Well, the way it works is you're nominated, first of all, for treasurer.
Right.
You serve a year, and then you move into vice president, and then the following year, president.
Right. So once you're treasurer, you know in a couple of years you're going to be president. That's just how it works.
That's the way it works.
So if you're not interested in being president of the chamber, don't ever try to be treasurer.
Exactly.
Right. So
good advice.
Yeah, you know what you're in for. I'm a member of the New Mexico Broadcasters Association. I'm not on the executive committee board yet, but that works the same way. Most boards tend to work that way. So thanks for explaining that. I appreciate that. But that also means that you're no longer going to be the age-friendly committee chairperson, right? And so that is Veronica Hernandez.
It is. This is my third year on the Carlsbad Chamber board.
Right.
So this is the first time I've been asked to serve on a committee as a committee chair, and I'm excited to do it.
Wow, that's great. So do you have designs on being on the executive committee of the Carlsbad Chamber? You're going to be treasurer, move you up to president at some point?
For the first 2 years, I was so focused on just understanding the chamber board.
Right.
My designs are to learn more.
Now, so I'm going to ask you, I know what Jeannie Watson would say. She puts everything nice and rosy. So I'm going to ask you, is the chamber board, is it an easy board to work with? Is it a complicated board? Like, give me a little insight on the inside.
It is a very active board. There's so many events going on all year long. It's not a hard board to be on, but it is a very committed board to be on.
Right, and so we know Chad Ingram does a really nice job.
He does an excellent job. So I'm happy to be able to work with him.
And what is his official title?
He's a CEO.
CEO. So okay, but you guys are in charge of him, right? You're now you now get to boss him around a little bit.
Oh, that's a funny way to put it, but I wouldn't say it that way.
Oh, okay. Well, the committee and the executive committee, they make a lot of the decisions. The CEO is the one that executes the decisions. Also leads the way for the chamber as well.
And he does that very well, and we all work together as a team, so that's great.
So can I ask you a question that I didn't prep you for?
Sure.
Can you tell me how many companies are member of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce?
I know that when Chad came on, which was about the same time that I did, the very same month,
okay,
which was right before Christmas, I believe it was 2021,
okay,
there were a lot of members that just had kind of fallen off the books. And he did a great job of going through and cleaning that list up. And we're now rebuilding with real members that are active, that are paying. So I think we're back up, and I'm just going to use a ballpark figure.
Sure, that works.
Right around 400, which is amazing.
Wow, that's tremendous. My frame of reference was going to be every time I drive by the chamber building, you've got the digital board there, and I've never seen the same business twice floating around on that thing. Right, so that was like, there must be a lot of businesses that are members of the chamber because I never see the same business twice up there. And that's a really busy road. You drive there all the time when you're driving around town. So, all right, so let's go ahead and real quickly. The last time you were on, Jeannie Watson, J.W. Sutphin was with us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we talked about the Carlsbad Green Chili Cheeseburger Contest, right? And so we had local businesses that were participating. You guys kind of changed up the contest a little bit. I really love the way that you did it. You focused on chamber members that were restaurants, which is great, by the way. Plus, you also had people vote on the best Green Chili Cheeseburger Contest. So instead of having like a big event down by the beach, which you guys did to announce the winners and a car show and all that stuff, we had a different route. So out of all the businesses that participated, are you able to tell us who the winner was?
I certainly can. And by now, I'm sure everyone has heard. We were so delighted to be able to award the best green chili cheeseburger to the Cactus Cafe from White City.
Right. I've eaten there once. Have you eaten there yet, Veronica, since they've been reopened? Okay, so they're really great. I did not have the green chili cheeseburger, but when we eat there again, we certainly will.
As will I. I never made it out there, and I'm disappointed, but I'm going to put it on my list.
Now, full disclosure, my father-in-law owns the Trinity Hotel and Restaurant, so I voted for the Trinity Hotel and Restaurant green chili cheeseburger, which is really great, by the way. I'm sorry that they didn't win, but they had my vote, and that's all that matters. But I have not had the green chili cheeseburger at Cactus Cafe yet, so now I'm going to have to compare. And if I think it's better than the Trinity's green chili cheeseburger, I will let my father-in-law know. I will not hesitate. just to rib them a little bit. So, Veronica, I want to shift to you. Jeannie, we're going to come back to you for sure. But as the age-friendly council chairperson, right, let's start with a little bit about your history here in Carlsbad. Were you born and raised here? And all the good stuff about you so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better.
I was born and raised here. Went off to college to get my bachelor's degree. I do have my master's degree.
Where'd you go to college at?
New Mexico State University.
Yep.
And when I returned, I was only going to return for 1 year. Here I am a few years later.
Yeah.
But Carlsbad is home. Carlsbad
Right.
is a great place to raise a family. It's just been amazing. And when I was in high school, I worked for Jan Sepich. She owned a marketing business, PR Consultants.
Okay.
And so I became very acquainted with business people at the time and radio stations.
All right.
I was constantly running errands to the radio stations and became familiar with the owners and the DJs. So when I came back, I already was quite connected with business people. I came back to work for Hall Machine and Welding, and Joe Brennenstuhl asked me if I would help him start up a business. And in probably 4 years' time, we started up 4 different businesses.
Wow.
So I've been very involved in the community, in civic organizations, and in the business world with business people. Carlsbad is a very welcoming place.
Right. I have to agree with you. I've lived here just over 4 years, and I feel like the community has been overwhelmingly supportive and welcoming. And so do you consider yourself a bit of an entrepreneur?
No, just a doer.
Okay.
So
all
when
right.
someone asks me, do you think we can do this? Let's do it. I figure out how we're going to get it done.
Well, I think that is a great quality for somebody that's now the chairperson of the Age Friendly Committee, because I know that the Age Friendly Committee does a lot of things. So you need to be a doer in order to kind of hold that position. I did want to ask you, do you know a little bit of history about the Age Friendly Committee here in Carlsbad, and what does Age Friendly Committee mean to you?
Well, sitting on the board for the last 2 years, Jeannie does a great job of sharing with us all of the events that Age Friendly does.
Agreed.
Since Jeannie asked me if I would fill this role, I've been trying to learn from everyone on the committee and research what it means. And I just think it's amazing that Age Friendly is across the board, from very young to more mature. So it's amazing that Carlsbad is considering all the different ages and keeping them active and involved in the community.
Right, absolutely. I have to agree completely. Now, what is the first event for the Age Friendly Committee that you are responsible for?
The casino bus tour in August.
So the casino bus tour in August. So this is something, and Jeannie, you can chime in anytime you want. This is something the Chamber for the Age Friendly Committee does quite often, right?
Correct. We do it now every quarter.
Every quarter. So once every 3 or 4 months, right? And you take a bus tour to Inn of the Mountain Gods?
Usually, yes.
Right. And then have you ever eaten at Wendell's?
Oh, my favorite.
I've had too much wine there sometimes.
As well as I.
So I'll tell a quick story. We were there with some friends that were from Roswell, the Inn of the Mountain Gods, and we were eating at Wendell's, and so it was a really celebratory time. So we had a couple of bottles of wine. I do love wine, right? And then so I got out of the restaurant, and I went into the casino, and I had $100 on me, and I sat down at a slot machine, 25-cent slot machine, or so I thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so 25-cent slot machine. I've had a little bit of wine, so maybe not seeing all that great. And I was like, I'm going to play for a really long time, right? And 5 pulls later, I was out of money, right? And so I went, and I even grabbed one of the casino attendants and be like, I sat at a 25-cent slot machine, and it's already gone after 5. No, it was a $25 a hand slot machine.
Oh, my goodness.
And I mean, if I'd have won, I wouldn't be complaining about it, right? But, so yeah, that was my experience at the Inn of the Mountain Gods when it came to gambling. But I did it was a really excellent meal. What a great place. Now, this is for you, Veronica, since this is your new role. Do you guys stay overnight, or is it a day-long trip?
It's a day-long trip. We leave at
about 7 in the morning.
Okay.
And we're back by 6.
By 6. That's a pretty long day.
Maybe not long enough for some of the gamblers.
Well, yes, I would. Well, unless you gamble like me, then you're ready to get out there a little bit earlier. But I do want to take a side note then for the community of Ruidoso, right? We pre-record this interview, but we are on the heels of the real bad flooding, and I know that 3 lives were lost in Ruidoso, and I know they've had a really hard time with the flooding and the fires and stuff for many years now. So, I mean, I don't know, not necessarily a moment of silence, but we'll just put our best feelers out there and pray for the community of Ruidoso that they do a quick recovery, because it's kind of heartbreaking.
Amen. It's extremely heartbreaking. I'm just mortified that it happened and the way it happened.
And then on the heels, obviously, weren't quite like Kerrville, Texas, or Kerrville County, right, or Kerr County, I think is what it's called. Obviously, they've had a much worse tragedy, but it's still hits hard. And there's 2 young lives that were lost.
Yes.
In that Ruidoso. Well, man, they've had such a hard time. So once they recover, I think it's really great that you guys are taking a bus there. And I would also encourage the community to take a trip to Ruidoso to help support their economy, because it's just heartbreaking. So now that side note's over, I'm real sorry for the community of Ruidoso. But let's talk more about the age-friendly committee. Give me one fact, or what I think is the most important fact about the Carlsbad age-friendly committee. We discussed this before we started recording. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, Veronica.
The fact that it was started by Janelle Whitlock.
That is an amazing fact. Yes, thank you very much. That wasn't the answer I was looking for, but that is a really good one. I know we'll talk about Janelle Whitlock here in a minute, because every time I do anything in the community, Janelle Whitlock's name comes up, right? But I always like to tout, I'm always the most proud of the fact that Carlsbad is the very first age-friendly committee in the state, and the whole state's just following them, right? And so I think that's incredible. Do we know how many age-friendly cities there are in New Mexico? Is that a fact that we keep floating around?
We followed it a little bit, and of course we were the very first, and it took a long time afterwards for another city to follow suit. I know Las Cruces was on our heels, and Albuquerque, and I believe Albuquerque's designation has been complete, but I'm not really certain. I'm really not. It is a big application process. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, and so I know it has been real difficult and appalling for many communities, and so that's all the more reason we're so proud to have the very first designated age-friendly city in New Mexico. We're so proud of that.
I think it's a real gold star for the community. I think that's a really big deal. So, Veronica, tell me, if you could, what are some of the hallmarks that make Carlsbad such an age-friendly committee or city?
Well, first we start with our beautiful weather. We have so many sunny days throughout the year, and we have this beautiful river that's been developed in such an amazing way that you could go out there almost any week of the year to enjoy what's been put out there for young and for more mature people, from simply walking and enjoying the beautiful view to playing basketball, playing volleyball. I think the river we have running through is an amazing thing for Carlsbad and age-friendly.
Right. So I lived in Albuquerque for 20 years, and since my wife and I moved down here, we've had a lot of friends and family visit us, and you will not believe the number of people that have no idea that we have a body of water right there in the middle of the town. They have no idea. And so I keep trying to remind them that, first of all, it's amazing, right? Second, we have a surprising amount of water in our community, considering we're kind of in the desert. So there's a lot more. I'm gonna bash the Rio Grande River, the Rio Pequeño, as I like to call it, up in Albuquerque, is the idea that there's not a lot of water in that thing. You know what I mean? And there is a lot of water down here, and our river is really, they call it Lake Carlsbad. It's the river, in my opinion. But the idea is that we have a lot of recreation that's built for a ton of recreation, when a lot of the other bodies of water around the state are not, right? So we're like we're literally an oasis in the desert, Jeannie. Oh,
I totally agree. I grew up in Carlsbad, and we were on the river every Saturday morning. We water skied, my entire family did, and so I have a lot of roots there, and it means a lot to me. Water skiing is one of many things. There's lots of jet skis, people fish. Right. There's kayaks and canoes, and I own kayaks. I love to get out on the water on the weekend or in the evening when it's beautiful. There's just so many things you can do on the river.
We have stand-up paddle boards.
Oh, those are great.
We prefer stand-up paddle boarding. Maybe now that I'm getting a little older, I wouldn't mind sitting in a kayak, but we prefer stand-up paddle boarding, and the river is a perfect place to do it. And it's always like so calm in the evening, right? And we've had really great weather. You're absolutely right. Veronica, I do want to ask you another question. As the new chairperson, would you like to share a little bit about some ideas that you have? I'm sure you've been brainstorming. You've been on the board for a couple of years. So, are you trying to bring obviously you want to continue the great work that's already been done, right? But do you have any new ideas that maybe you want to share with us?
I do want to continue the great work. I don't have any new ideas. They have shared some ideas that they've tried that I'd like to try again. The hikes, either out in the area or even just the walks around the beach area, meeting at a certain time of day, gathering with people just to enjoy the beauty of it. There was a third one that I'm not recalling, but they have tried some things that were great ideas. If we could get it together and get people to show up, it would be a fun thing to do. So
tell me what you think your role is as age-friendly committee chairperson. related to kind of, since we're age friendly, which means we go from real little all the way to super old, I'll say, right?
Right.
The idea is like, how do you bridge that gap, right? How do you get the younger generation and the older generation to kind of bond together?
I think it starts with our committee, making sure that it's diverse in age. We have young people with young children and more mature people who have experience and family members within that range. And get their ideas. Ask them to reach out to their family, friends. What is it you'd like to see in Carlsbad? How could we make this truly age-friendly?
Do you want to give us some of your information so people could reach out to you via email or phone call necessarily if they have some of those great ideas?
Sure. My email address, I'm going to give you my work email address.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to give any personal information out. I'm not asking that. Just whatever would help related to the age-friendly committee.
Okay, maybe I'm not understanding that.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to be confusing and related to that. I don't want you to give out like your phone number necessarily, and I wasn't sure if you guys have specific email addresses for the age-friendly committee chairperson.
We do not. So
Okay.
I've always used my personal, but I use my personal for business. And
Right,
Veronica works at CNB, so it might be appropriate if you think so to use that address.
Well, you tell me. And
Well,
maybe we should work on an email address for age-friendly where people could reach out to us.
And if that's an
They can
excellent idea
Definitely reach out to the Chamber of Commerce
Yeah.
and leave a message for
Okay.
me.
for you specifically.
Okay. So if you call the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, ask for, I'm going to leave a message for Veronica Hernandez. You don't have to say age-friendly committee chairperson. I'm sure that they'll know who that is, right? And then if you have an email address, or the CNB Bank one would be fine.
Veronica.hernandez@ourcnbbank.com.
HOURCNB.com.
Yes.
I can't say enough about CNB Bank either. I have all of my stuff there. I don't know. I've seen you there every once in a while, but I moved all my retirement there. I have all my business checking accounts there. You know, and also I'll say that if somebody has an idea, they're listening to this for the age-friendly committee or anything else in the community, you could email myself. That's at chandlerbroadcasting@gmail.com. So we're always available. I'll make sure to pass it on directly to you. And anything I can do to have a better conversation with you and to keep this relationship going would be much, much better. So, Jeannie, another question for you when it related to age-friendly council chairperson. You served for how long?
4.5, almost 5 years.
So this is something that you kind of serve on until you're just ready to move it on to the next person? Because it's not like terms necessarily, right?
There are no terms.
Okay.
Right. And I would, part of me is really sad to be able to move up into this other position I'm excited about. But at the same time, I can't do both. And so I'm a little bit sad to have to pass the baton, but I'm so excited that Veronica is going to step into those shoes because I just know her background. I know her ethics, her morals, her work ethics, and she's just going to do a fantastic job. So I don't hesitate one bit in passing that baton, so to speak, to Veronica. She's going to do excellent.
So I wanted to shift to you now. Thank you for answering that question. But I want to shift to you a little bit about what do you see and what do you hope to do as president of the chamber? Because I do not feel like that's a small job.
Well, it is a big job, and I've given it a lot of thought. And I've been giving it a lot of thought since the day I became treasurer,
Okay.
knowing that one day this possibility could come to fruition. And so I've sort of sat back and observed, like Veronica has done the same as a new person on the board. You really just observe, you're learning. So one of the things I felt like, and first of all, to preface it, we just do an outstanding job as far as the chamber goes in so many ways. We have so many different events. Christmas on the Pecos, we knock it out of the park. I mean,
Yeah.
that is such a huge event.
Agreed.
Right. Then we started with the Balloon Festival. We have a big booth up there. JW is really has the one that started all that. So kudos to him. He and Chad put that all together, and so that's a huge event as well. But one of the things I thought that we were missing, and it's hard to do all things perfect, right? So in that sense, is the members. And so as we approach this annual banquet, which is next week, where, my term has started July 1st, but we'll have the banquet, I thought long and hard about what can we do for the members.
Okay.
And Chad and I have had these discussions, the executive board and I have had this discussion, and for me, my main focus is to provide more service, more benefits. So starting actually tomorrow, we have our first educational workshop on AI and how to use it if you're a small business. I don't know if you saw that. We sent that out to all the members. So if you are a member, you're going to be able to attend that for free on a Zoom call. If you sign up and you can't attend, you'll be able to go back and review it later. It's a 3-hour training session. So it's just a great benefit. It costs zero if you're a member.
Right.
If you're not a member and you're listening and you're thinking, wow, that's something that my small business could really use, you've got time to join. Do it before tomorrow. Call the chamber, see what you need to do. So those are the things. Another thing that we are starting is the after-hours business networking. And so every month we will rotate with a different one of our members, a business, and we'll highlight their business. We'll meet and have drinks and exchange cards and have a chance to network and get to know one another. And so that will be a monthly event. So those two things together are just right out of the gate that I want to start. And Chad and I have had those conversations, and we're all on board to do that. And I think it'll bring a whole lot more meaning and value as a member for each member.
Veronica, do you use AI at all?
No. Well, I guess anytime we Google, AI kind of jumps in and does the
now
word for
now
you.
it does, yeah.
Yes, intentionally, no.
Intentionally, no. Okay.
No, not that I intentionally don't do it. I just don't know enough about it to use it. But on my phone, I see AI kicking in, so it just part of my life
it's
now.
going to be second nature, right? It's going to be like the very next phone that you get or the very next laptop that you buy. It's all going to be built in, and every company wants to promote their own AI, even though I feel like they all kind of work the same. But we use it's kind of like it could be ethically questionable being on a college campus, right? The English professors here at SCNMC really do have a lot of heartburn about AI.
I'm sure.
Because it'll write a better paper than you can, even though we all have college degrees, But in the workforce, we do tend to use it quite a bit. And I've been messing around with Grok, which is Elon Musk's AI. And then I've also paid for ChatGPT recently. I'm not seeing any more value than compared to when you don't pay for it. But I have sat through a couple of workshops for grant writing when it comes to AI. And so one workshop that I sat in, so I only get into this to sidetrack a little bit because we got a little bit more time to kill, but also the idea of how AI is so prevalent everywhere, right? And it's just going to become more and more prevalent. I did one. So there was a grant application that they estimated would take you 10 hours to fill out. It was done in 90 minutes because of AI. Right now, AI will spit out the information for you, but that doesn't mean you don't have to proofread. You have to go in it. And then I try to make photos and stuff with AI as well. There's like always a misspelled word, like always something misspelled.
That's surprising. I would think that spelling and grammar would be prevalent.
When it comes to making pictures or graphics or something like that, there always seems to be something misspelled or the lettering's quite off. It's like a lot different than you would necessarily think.
Or the 6 fingers.
Yeah, right, exactly. So but it's getting much harder. So the other day, my wife was watching some video. We're all doom scrolling in the morning, you know what I mean? And she's watching this video. She's like, "Oh, look at this," and I was like, "That is 100% fake." And I was like, and then I was watching some video of a plane landing, like really, I don't know how I got sucked into it, but it's a plane landing working really, really low, right? It's like, man, that thing is really close to the buildings as it lands. And it wasn't until the very end of like this 45-second video that I realized the whole thing was fake.
No.
So it's going to be much, much harder to differentiate between the two. And so as a employee of CNB Bank, I wonder, do you guys have an AI? I mean, I'm not asking you to divulge information about the bank, but is that something that banks can use? Can banks use AI?
As far as federal rules and policies, I don't know, and I'm not a part of that, so I don't even know if they're using it.
Yeah, I assume that you would use it to some degree related to, like, do some math for me or something, you know what I mean? But then you still have to double check it, Well,
and it was about a month ago that on the news, it was on for several days, a judge called an attorney who had filed a brief, and there was so many errors in it, and they were citing laws that weren't actual laws.
Right.
And so when the judge asked the attorney, where did you get this information from? And the attorney said, AI wrote it for me.
Right.
And so all of the information out there isn't correct.
No, that's 100%
and you have to
true.
read through it to find it. We're Rotarians, and once a year they have the 408 test essay for 8th graders. Mm-hmm. Well, in the last 4 years, even before we were all really familiar with ChatGPT and AI, we were having to face the fact that some of the students were submitting essays that were written not by them.
Right.
And so the younger people, this is a part of their lives, and they've learned how to use it as a tool, I think, part of age-friendly, maybe.
Right, there you go. Right, here's an idea. You can have the younger people help the older age-friendly committee members learn how to use AI. I mean, the truth is we don't have a choice. We're going to have to use it as a tool to some degree. Of course, I like to watch like YouTube videos of how like, oh, the society is going to end and robots are going to take over, but that's just fear mongering stuff that I enjoy. So we're almost out of time, and I'm glad you brought up AI, even though we went off the rails with it, simply because that's an amazing workshop that you guys are putting together, because it is going to help local businesses know how to succeed in an ethical, positive way, and to make sure that they're at the forefront of all the, because we're like a one globe now, right? It's not like we're not just a little community that's just us, and so we have to be able to compete on a global level. So teaching our businesses how to do those things is a really creative idea. So I want to give you credit on that right away for bringing that up.
Well, thank you. I will say I'm in sales and marketing, right? And so the moment AI emerged, within the week, I'm very curious, and I want to know the cutting edge technology across the board. And so I immediately began to use it, and I was just enthralled. And so in my business, I use it for so many things. I needed to write a letter last week.
Right.
And so it's so simple to put it in and say all the things that are the core elements that need to go into a letter. And within seconds, the letter is done for you. It's very professional. Obviously, you have to go back and proof it, and you make a few modifications. It's got to be your tone, et cetera.
Right.
But I've written radio ads.
Yeah, me too.
I've done a number of headline things in my marketing strategy. I use it for so many things at work, and it's just amazing.
So you're a bit of a real estate developer, right?
I've been a developer for a long time.
You've been a developer. So what I've noticed when looking at houses or whatever is I'm starting to see, like, I'm not real estate agents, I feel like they're starting to put AI photos in the images of the houses that they're taking. I feel like they're touching them up or something.
I haven't noticed that. Of course, ours are all real. Mine are all real.
Okay, yeah, I know that's
my videos are all real. But it does write a beautiful description, which is just amazing because, I could spend an hour trying to tweak it, and I could certainly make it great. I don't have an hour, so within literally a minute, I can type in, this is a 3-bedroom and 2-bath, and it has blah, 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 and it's by the river, and immediately it spits out the most beautiful description of that home. It would take forever for me to come up with. No, so it's such a major help.
I agree with you completely. So if you become a chamber member, or you are a chamber member, you will get access to a free 3-hour AI workshop.
Well, you need to register tomorrow. By tomorrow. This is a one-time shot. It's not something we're offering all throughout the year. But this is the first, as an example, the first of many things that we're hoping as a chamber to begin to bring more value to the members in many ways. But this is one example.
So I want to give you the last word. I'm not going to give you the last word. I'm going to give Veronica the last word because she's our special guest.
Yes.
But I wanted to give you an opportunity to close with anything you'd like to say in relationship to the Carlsbad Chamber and being the new president.
Well, first of all, I'm just thrilled and honored and humbled that I have that opportunity, and I'm going to work my hardest to do my part. It's always a team effort, and we have a wonderful executive committee. We have a wonderful board. They're all pulling in together, and that's my hope and dream, is just to make the chamber better.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Veronica, you do get, I'm probably going to get the last word since it's my radio show, but you do get the last word in reference to this. So just tell me a little bit about what being the age-friendly committee chairperson means to you and what you hope to bring to Carlsbad. Just a closing statement.
First, I know I have some very big shoes to fill. I'm excited for the events we already have on the books, the casino bus trip, the Valentine dance, the Janelle Whitlock Valentine dance, the mini golf tournament with the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to hear from the committee members and from the community what ideas they have that we can put forth to keep it age-friendly from young to mature and in the middle. I think one of the age groups that we're missing in a lot of areas is the 20 to 25-year-olds.
Sure.
There is a lot to do in Carlsbad. J.W. Sutphin wanted to make sure that we understood, even just at the beach area, you can do 166 different things.
I believe he counted it too. Trust me.
I know he did. Yes.
You call it Lake Carlsbad. I call it the beach.
Okay,
I was born and raised here. But just in that area, 166 different things, because the city really has done an amazing job putting in more for us to do. We've had the river, we have the parks, but now we have the volleyball courts, the
pickleball courts, right?
Pickleball, cornhole, yes, and then the river itself offers so many.
Plus,
activities.
we have Friendship Park and all these other amazing water. There's a new water park that's going to open up down there, a splash pad for the for the little ones or the older ones
There's-
as well. Why not
there's-
get in there?
There's already one splash pad.
Right, and there's going to be a second one I've noticed.
Yes, and we have the water park, and then of course back to the mini golf. Oh, and can't forget City Carlsbad golf course.
Yeah, that's very true. And the new driving range setups that they have there.
Thank
There's
you.
a tremendous amount of amenities here. I have to agree completely. So Veronica Hernandez, Age Friendly Council Chairperson, Committee Chairperson, thank you very much for coming on. Jeannie Watson, as always. Now, Veronica, please remember that this is a free platform for you to promote anything that you want, and it's only going to get easier from here, right? So this is just your first one, so it only gets easier. The more we know each other, the better rapport we'll have. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for coming on. Go to kccc930am.com for any questions and for all of our shows. And then thank you both very much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.